In March of 2019, Marshall University spent 2 weeks in the country of Belize. During our stay, 5 days were spent with Reef Conservation International on the small island of Tom Owens. Tom Owens Cay is located 20-some miles up the coast and sits right on the Belizean Barrier Reef, roughly a 45-minute boat ride out of the city of Placencia. Reef Ci is unique in offering a variety of programs for new and experienced divers alike that give them a direct impact on the ecosystem by helping collect data for their multitude of conservation programs. Multiple lectures were given each day detailing the nature of the environment that we were in and the vast amount of life that lived there, as well as the threats that they faced. Our group took part in assisting with queen conch, lobster, and commercial fish surveys. We also took part in monitoring the health of the reef by surveying for coral reef health and diversity, as well as population control with lionfish spearing. Conch is highly sought after due to its high commercial value, and this leads to intense overharvest, and Belize is no exception. During conch surveys, a transect is laid across the bottom where a team of buddy divers search along the line for conch. Once one is found, measurements are taken for the thickness of the lip, the size of the spiral on its shell, as well as its overall size. Depth and habitat are also recorded. Fish surveys were done passively through pre-planned dive trips. Before our dive, a lecture was given detailing the species of interest and going over different hand signals for each. While moving along the reef during the dive, careful attention was paid to ID and record any fish that were commercially harvested, such as yellowtail snapper. Size was also recorded for each target species, using a specially made measuring stick. Coral reefs are one of the most imperiled ecosystems on the planet, facing a variety of threats such as disease, ocean acidification, and rising temperatures. Before our survey, we were taught about the various diseases that affected the corals, and how to identify them, as well as signs of bleached or dead corals. These surveys were done during targeted dives where special attention was paid to take note of coral condition. Threats to coral reefs come from more than just environmental conditions. Invasive species also pose a major threat. During our time at Reef Ci, we were trained on how to spear lionfish and were taken on targeted dives with the sole purpose of removing as many lionfish as possible. Once the lionfish were brought back, they were dissected and gut content was analyzed. Nothing went to waste as the fish were filleted and served for dinner. The culmination of all our newly learned survey experience came in the form of a reef health assessment. In prepping for the survey, a group of us built PVC photo boxes to be used in photographing the reef bottom. Teams were assigned different tasks pre-dive to be executed in a certain order. The lead laid out a 100-meter transect line and was then followed by a team conducting a predatory fish survey. The next team followed, counting and removing lionfish along the transect. Finally, the last team photographed the bottom to be taken back to ID bottom composition in post. Along with doing projects for Reef Ci, our group also took part in projects of our own. Hermit crabs were the subject of one such project. 25 hermit crabs were collected at each of the 4 corners of the island. These crabs were then marked with a corresponding color and released later to be recaptured. Temperature and light sensors were also placed randomly across the island, and points and measurements were taken at every tree on the island to map out potential reasons for hermit crab congregation. Even though a lot of our dives were goal-oriented, it didn't stop us from enjoying the vast array of life that the Belize Barrier Reef had to show us. During the day, we witnessed large schools of fish, from blue tangs to schoolmasters to barjack. The amount of life is astounding. Juvenile fishes also school in large numbers in the shallows to protect themselves from harm. Night dives offer unique experiences that you wouldn't otherwise get during a regular dive. Large schools of fish vanish and are replaced by those that stay hidden during the day. This allows you to see animals you wouldn't otherwise, such as stingray, puffers, and octopus. Some migratory fishes even show up during the night, like these spotted eagle rays. If you are equipped with a blue light and a yellow lens, you are able to see things you otherwise wouldn't have imagined. Corals, invertebrates, and some fishes absorb light and re-emit it at a different wavelength. This results in a glow known as biofluorescence. Using special equipment, we are able to observe this fascinating phenomenon. Being able to not only experience this unique ecosystem firsthand, but to work within it as well, gives you an unmatched appreciation for how amazing this place truly is. Coral reefs are on the decline, and if we cannot do anything to protect them, they may not be around for our next generation to experience.